Hey everybody, W here. Today we're going to do game 4 of our mystery player series with the flag up front. And the player we're playing today is absolutely awful. He has 64 wins and 184 losses. So let's see if we can beat him. Let's get started. We'll learn. He's probably a terrible player and we'll probably see lots of mistakes. So let's learn something. Here we go. I'm 3-0 now. 3 wins, 0 defeats. So he could get me here. Is he going to win? Is he going to scout me? No. Is he? He's taking his time. This game is not going to be as long as the last game. Sorry I played so slow in that last game. So see, I should have moved over. It could cost me. Am I going to lose? Oh, he scouted. So I was lucky. If the flag was on J4, I would have lost. So you can see even a terrible player can beat you with a flag up front. So it's extremely dangerous. I don't advise it. Play always, when you're a beginner and learning to play the game, play always with a bombed-in flag. Okay, so he scouted my bomb and he scouted my major. And he's bringing up some pieces over here. Now this should be higher than a major. And I have no idea why he did that. I guess he's just a bad player. Either he's a kid or he's elderly getting senile or maybe he's high. I don't know. Or maybe he just forgot my major after 30 seconds. Maybe he has a very bad tablet or phone. The screen is bad and he didn't remember what his scout found, but he just ran his lieutenant into my known major, and that made no sense at all. But this piece must be, I think, higher than a major. So we're just probing, looking for his high pieces so we can counterattack. That's how I play. You try to minimally find. Now this is strange here. He allowed me to get 2 scouts with a sergeant. Why didn't this piece take me? Is this a scout? Because if this is a scout and you have 3 scouts here, that's really a stupid setup. So or he's just not even paying attention. So I don't know why he didn't take me with this piece, but you don't let a sergeant get 2 scouts. Then you have a bad setup. All right, so he finally takes me with a captain. So I'm looking for targets. If this is his high side, if this is his marshal. So see, this was a lieutenant. So why didn't he take my sergeant with the lieutenant? He would have saved a scout. And if you want to beat top players, you have to save every single piece you can. You don't want to waste anything. You don't want to waste the scouts. You don't want to waste a spy after the marshals are gone. You want to use them to get you information. Okay, so we have a lieutenant and a captain here. And it looks like he's bringing up some, as Stratego Bob would say, some big guns up here. We'll see. I guess this major's going to die. And it does. It's a colonel. So I'm hoping he's a lottoer. With that kind of record, he just might run into my bombs. But he can do a lot of damage over here if he goes straight down. So he's definitely a lottoer. He's got the lead. He's up a major. And so I got to start pulling these pieces out because, he's lottoing. I got to save something. You don't want to let him get too many pieces. I can play from behind, but I don't want to get too far behind. So he finally wipes himself out. Hits a bomb. So now we're up a colonel, which is great because colonels are very valuable. You always want to target colonels. And another thing, he has all his scouts in the front row. And you really, when you play this game, you don't want to have all your scouts on the front row. You want to try to save some. The first 2 aren't so valuable. You can fire them early in the game. I like to target the inside lanes. or the center. Depends where you want to attack. If you want to attack on one side, you might want to test both of these before you run up maybe a lieutenant or a captain or a major. So the first 2 scouts aren't that valuable, but the next 2 are a little more valuable, and then the remaining 4 are really valuable, especially the last 2. You'd like to save at least 4 scouts for the mid game, so don't waste them all early on. Unless you're a very super aggressive player. If you're like a Marshall blitzer and you're really aggressive, then you might want to use all your scouts early. But I would save at least 2 for the late middle game to end game. All right, so we found a captain, a lieutenant. I'm still trying to find this marshal. That's my whole game, is to try to find the marshal. I don't feel like swapping with his lieutenant here, because I'd like them to think that maybe the flag's over here. So we get a lieutenant, we find another colonel. And colonels, you're always looking for colonels because they're great targets. And since I'm up a colonel, that'd be nice to get this one too. And then the game's really easy to win. So I'm probably thinking, what do I want to do? If I want to run up here. We don't know where his marshal is yet. I'm concerned it might be on this side. So I might have to get my marshal over here. See, that's a problem when you play really bad players. I mean, really, really novices or really bad players. Their setups can be just random. They're not conventional setups. So it's very hard to read your opponent's setup. So that's the one advantage bad players, really bad players have. You have no idea where they don't place their marshal in general in normal positions. So I don't know what this, you might think this is a minor coming from back here. Maybe he wants to check this if this is a flag here. But see, now that's dumb. Except maybe he wanted to know what it was. He didn't really hang this piece because he did get some information. Because that's my pet peeve. I don't like hanging pieces. But he didn't. I don't think he knew what this was. So he didn't get much information. And it's always a good idea when you attack a piece to just go one level higher. So you don't, especially in your own territory, when it's not in danger of being taken, you don't give away too much information. You don't want to attack that lieutenant with a general or marshal if you have a captain nearby. You want to attack it with a captain so you don't give too much away. Information is very important in this game. The less your opponent knows of your high pieces, the better off you're going to be. So I'm assuming this is a minor, but I don't know. Maybe it's a high piece. Like I said, he's a really bad player, so you never know. And so he had a major back here. So that was a little strange, major on the back row. And I'm trying to figure out, do I want to bring my general up to him or do I want to bluff? Maybe I can chase him into one of these bombs. The colonel hit this bomb, so maybe we can get him to go in one of these 3. So I decide to bluff. And a lot of good players usually bluff. And he didn't take me, so he didn't get scared, so I backed away. It didn't work out. So now he's bringing down his minor. I really have to get over there in case he comes over here in lottos, because, I have 3 pieces he could get. So now we decide to go after, target the major. And this is very effective. He gets blown up on a bomb. This is very effective bombs in the corners, because bombs in the corner are very rare. On the back row here, the bottom row, you the ratio of bombs in the other spots are much higher than here in the corner. So it's not a bad idea to have a bomb in the corner. It's if you can make it to the late game. These are so tempting to attack, and I still will lotto in the late game the corners because bombs are fairly rare, especially with beginners. So, but he wound up losing his major to the bomb. So they're very effective. I'd recommend using them every once in a while. Mix things up, maybe switch sides. I don't think I would put bombs in both corners. But so now he had his general in the corner here, so that's just a really strange placement. So you can see he is totally either total beginner or kid, or he really doesn't fully understand Stratego yet. He's just a bad player. So we better win. It'd be embarrassing if I lose. Let's see here. So I think I'll swap. I got my major back, so we're only we're up a colonel, and we're up 2 lieutenants. So I could swap out this game and win if I wanted to. So this is a bomb, and I think this was tested as a bomb. I think. So, but I'm still concerned that he might lotto down here. I have to be concerned he's going to attack on this side now since the flag is here, so I have to bring my marshal up. When you have a lead, you want to play defense, and if I left my marshal down here and he decided to lotto with a marshal here, I'd be really mad that I lost the game. I could also put the spy over here. That wouldn't be so bad either. Maybe move the colonel up with a spy. So then you have to pay attention what your opponent's doing and look at all these spaces where he's moved so you know where to attack. This is very important. So take your time when you move and watch what your opponent's doing so you know I can attack these 4 spots behind the lake. These are all pieces I can attack. You know, this area here, this whole area here I can attack. No bombs there. So that was worth it. Since he used all his scouts, at least it wasn't going to be a scout. And with his general over here, I think his spy would be over here too. So we got his other known colonel. So when you're ahead, you always want to swap. When you're well ahead, it's a good idea to swap. So then they have less pieces to lotto you or less pieces to attack you. You'll increase your chances of winning. So I'm thinking this is the marshal now, and the gen's over here. He's pretty aggressive, so that's why I think this is the marshal, and we know this is a general. And he knows this is I think he knows this is my general. I forget already now. So he might be targeting my general. So that's good, we swap. Now the general's gone, and I have the only colonel left, so I can go up here and target these pieces. Both of these pieces have moved. So I'm concerned that this is the marshal. I'm thinking this might be a minor, but it was a major. So now if this is his marshal, I can go up here with the colonel and attack these two pieces. He hasn't attacked me, so I doubt this is a high piece. And again, he hasn't attacked me, so I don't think this shouldn't be that high. I don't know why he leaves him here. He has to know I'm coming up with a colonel, and then he leaves this piece here. So this is very this is amateur hour here. You really, when I'm coming up with a piece, and you know it has the potential to be a colonel, and you know you've moved these pieces, you have to move them out of the way. Either you have to come down and attack, or you have to get in a spot where you can do the 2 square rule where I can't trap you. But he just left 2 pieces hanging. It just makes no sense at all. Don't ever do that. Move your pieces. You have to be ready for a counterattack. And so now he's really way behind. So this person was really bad player. But he just might be focused also on what he's trying to do over here. Maybe he thinks the flag is here and he's going to win the game. You know, he has a marshal here, a major here, a minor here. So maybe he's going all in on his quest to get the flag. And I've done that a couple times. You saw in that one, if you saw my one epic lotto where it was a marshal blitz, and I did an epic lotto the back way. I left all my pieces alone so he could attack them, but I wanted to get to the flag, so that worked out fine for me. So sometimes it's worthwhile doing, but I don't know. I just think he's not paying attention at all, and I think he could have moved these pieces to safety, but he just didn't want to do it for whatever reason. So I guess he's coming in trying to figure out where my flag is. I'm thinking his flag's in the corner here. Bomb flag. I believe the marshal was on this side. So we're just taking pieces. You figure this was a minor. I could have hit it with a sergeant, but I like this. This is where double vertical bombs are very effective because they're fairly rare until you face higher level players. When you face the higher level gold players and platinum players, they're going to have most of their bombs on the first 2 rows, the bottom row and the next row. They'll probably have at least 5 of their bombs on these 2 rows, and then they might have one random bomb somewhere in the other 2 rows. And that allows you to have double vertical bombs, which are very effective because people hit it and they think they have a triangle and they think this is a flag, and then they go down and they hit the bomb. But the key is you have to hit the minor. So you hate it when a minor gets both of your bombs. That's really sad when that happens. But so I'm gonna sacrifice my captain to stop the minor, and this makes it look like this is valuable. This is probably the flag, maybe. So he goes down for the captain. I take the marshal, we swap, and now He thinks he's won the game, and he finds a bomb. And that's, these double vertical bombs are, the bombs in the corner and double vertical bombs can work really well. They are very effective, especially late in the game. So now it's just a mop up to get his pieces. And I haven't found any sergeants. So every once in a while, this is a setup where people have flag, bomb, bomb, sergeant, 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 bomb, 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 bomb. I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend ever bombing in a piece, because in a late game, when it's very close and you have one of your pieces bombed in, and you're going to wind up losing because you could have utilized that piece, you'll never do it again. You'll never bomb in a piece again. It's just too. It's really not an advantage to your advantage to bomb in a piece. You need all your pieces available, and I would highly recommend never to do that. I did lose to this setup one time. Embarrassing to say, with the bomb, 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 sergeant, sergeant, bomb, bomb, flag. But don't do that. Don't. He locked up 3 of his pieces, so that's not good. Just speed it up. I just let him go down here, and then I moved the pieces in the back row to show him that my flag wasn't in the back row. He didn't take me. I don't think he checked his bomb out, but oop, I eventually trapped him here at the end. Okay, so we took him, and then it was game over because he could no longer move. So don't. One thing we learned in this video is don't bomb in your pieces, because it can hurt you in a really close game, and you'll hate that you'll spend an hour on a game you could have won, but because you bombed in your sergeant, you wind up losing. Not that it mattered in this game. But you can see how bad this player was. He had a chance to beat me in the beginning of the game here. He fired his scout, and I think he had another chance. Let's see, did he fire another? No, maybe it was another game. But anyway, this was a really bad player, and so I'm glad you can see, when you see a record like this, be ready for a lot of, or someone who just runs into bombs with colonels and majors, and you should have no problems beating a player like this. All right, thanks for watching. So now we're 4-0, moving on to game 5. Bye.